Heaven knows what with ABS, DAB, ESP and so on, the motoring world is already packed full of sets of initials. But here's another set to get your head around, CHR. This is Toyota's take on that most modern of motoring fashion accessories, the crossover, and the initials stand for Coupe High Rider. Now if that sounds like an eye-watering combination, remember that's typical of cars like this. After all, they're so popular precisely because they can be the school-run taxi one minute and then whisk you off up the nearest mountain for some adventure the next. So, is this just the thing to tempt you away from a Nissan Qashqai or a Seat Ateca? Let's see. The CHR is every bit as ultra-modern inside as it is outside, with pretty much everything controlled through this central touchscreen that's standard right across the range. Admittedly, it does take a little while to properly get to grips with the operating system, but the big advantage is it leaves you with this lovely uncluttered dashboard that's really easy to use. Just as snazzy are the materials, which have touchy-feely finishes in all the right places. You'll also like the supportive seats that keep you really comfortable, and the wide range of adjustment in the driving position. What you won't like so much though is the dreadful over-the-shoulder visibility you get thanks to the ridiculously thick rear pillars. To make matters worse, those pillars, along with the tiny rear windows, also mean that the rear seat gets hardly any light, making it a rather claustrophobic and murky place to sit. And if you have kids in the back, they'll see precious little out of the windows. The irony is, the CHR is actually quite a spacious car. There's certainly enough room for a pair of 6-foot adults in the back, and the boot is a decent size too. Our only complaints are that there's a pretty hefty lip to load items over, and also a big step in the floor when you fold the back seats down. Calling a car Coupe High Rider doesn't exactly bode well for how enjoyable that car is going to be to drive. But actually, Toyota has done a really good job of combining those two apparent opposites in the CHR. Take the suspension for example. It's comfortable enough over most lumps and bumps, although the four-wheel drive cars are a bit firmer than the two-wheel drive models, but it's still stiff enough to make sure the body doesn't roll all over the place in bends. The steering likewise has a reassuring amount of weight at speed, but is still light enough to make for easy manoeuvring around town. The end result is a car that sits solidly on the road, but still feels light on its feet. A car that's equally at home around town and on the open road. In other words, it's a genuinely enjoyable car to drive in any circumstance. We'll cover the full range of engines and transmissions in our written review of the CHR, and you can find that by clicking on the link in the top right hand corner of your screen. But this car has our favourite engine, the turbocharged 1.2 litre petrol unit that's also the cheapest of the two options. True, it's at its best when paired with the 6-speed manual gearbox rather than the CVT that's fitted to this car, but once you've got a few revs on the dial, it pulls you along really easily. It's a smooth and quiet little engine too, so it's just a shame that the rest of the car kicks up so much wind and road noise.